Tom, if you can see me, try requesting or accepting the request I sent you. What's up, Brian? We're having a little technical difficulty over here. It's all right. What's up, Mike? What's up, the other Mike? You can't hear me. It's not good. Hold on. All right, yeah, mic's on. Just waiting for Tommy to get in here.
There we go. We
Dan
good? Yeah.
Goikman.
Oh, there. How we doing now?
There we go.
All right.
How's it going?
I'm not very tech savvy, as you can tell.
All right, real quick. This guy paid the bills real quick. This episode, all episodes, Road All American, brought to you by Line Energy. Make sure you guys check them out, lineenergy.com. Check out the UT 1300 batteries, lithium batteries that powered me all year long on the Road to All American. And also, show sponsor, check out ROKFORM.com for your latest phone mount for whatever phone, Android or iPhone device you have, even tablet. And they have awesome mounting solutions. I run their twist lock mount on the bass boat, holds the phone in place perfect. All right, let's get into it. We got Tom Reynolds, owner of Reynolds Boats, great friend of mine and acquaintance in the business. How's it going, buddy?
It's going well. I'm up on Thousand Islands right now. Just got done fishing for a couple days, so life is good.
And you're with Dan Goikman, who's also a guide up there.
I am. Yep. He's over here somewhere. Yep. There he is.
What's up, Dan? Awesome. So what is Reynolds Boats got planned for the this coming winter?
So the one big show we're going to do this winter is the Dan Kenny show up in Massachusetts at the that's the New England Fishing Expo show.
Okay.
And it's the end of January, beginning of February.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep.
I'm sure
Starts,
I'll
I
be
think
there.
January 31st, I think, is the first day.
Okay. So anybody interested in coming checking out some new boats from Reynolds?
Yeah, we'll have all the
check it out.
brands at that show. Yep.
All brands. All right, I got a question because we're both running Phoenixes. You ran a PHX, an Elite, and now the XE, right?
Correct.
Which hull do you like the best? Like which one for drivability, layout, whatever? Which one's your favorite?
For big water, the PHX and the XE are the same hull.
Okay.
So for big water, that's my go-to boat. When you're up here on Lake Ontario, Champlain, all the big water, I just love. It's a little bit deeper boat, great for rough water. It's not the fastest boat out there. Obviously, the 920 Elite, the 921 Elite, they're faster boats. The 721's faster, but comfort, because I'm no spring chicken anymore. So you young guys like those other ones. I'm about the comfort at my point in life.
Okay, so the PHX and the XE hull for rough water.
Yeah, it's a little deeper boat, so it just gives you a little bit more comfort there. And, I just like it because I do fish a lot of big water.
Now, do you have the 21 footer this year or the 20?
Yes, I always run the 21.
21. Do you notice a difference between the 21 and the 20 for rough water? Like, is there a huge difference? Is it minuscule?
So I don't have any experience in the 20. People that have bought the 20 say it handles the rough water great. but I'm one of those that just I like having that little extra real estate in the front deck to, you know, so two guys can be up there and be comfortable.
Okay, so I haven't, to the people watching, I haven't ran any of the PHX whole boats. I do run the 920 Elite. I like the 20 footers for, it seems like they're more nimble, like especially if you're like fishing in marinas and around docks and stuff, it just feels like they're more nimble. And then with the shallower hull, I could get into skinnier water easier, I feel. That's and then coming from a previous brand boat that I ran that had a much deeper hull, it was really tricky getting into shallow, sketchy areas to find the bass. So like the Potomac, for example, back in some of those creeks and those pockets, the shallower you got the shallower the hole is, the easier it is to maneuver around those areas.
Yeah, and I hear that a lot from people that dock fish a lot, that the 20-foot 19s and 20s are people that like to dock fish. That seems to be their go-to boat. Whereas the 21 is not quite as maneuverable. I'm not a big dock fishing guy, so it doesn't really affect my fishing much.
Yeah, you're more offshore and stuff.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, so I got a question for you. What's your go-to desert island bait? Like if you need to catch fish, because you have the Northern Bass Tournament Trail, so you're a tournament angler, you're part of the Bass Nation for a long time, and what, like if you need, like, it's desperate measures, like you have to put 5 fish in the boat, what bait are you going with?
Oof. That's a tough one. My favorite bait is probably a chatterbait.
Okay.
And I like to throw that a lot, probably to a fault. But I think that would be the one that I'd put in my hand and just keep on going.
Okay. What color?
I'm usually a green pumpkin or a white, some kind of white with gold blade.
Captain Joe Broccoli said, I bet he goes T-rig. And then you said chatterbait. He said, damn. That's a good one. Yeah, so we have this the portion of the podcast, because a lot of the followers are like blue collar guys. They may only get to go fishing like once in a while, you know, they chasing their kids around the house and sports and everything else, and they don't have time to go fishing. So when they do go fishing, they want to make the most time they can on the water productive and be able to put fish and catch fish, whether it's from shore or from a boat. So I'm co-signing Tom on this one. This year, the bladed jig has been fantastic for me. It's been able to not only produce numbers, but produce quality too. And I feel in a lot of scenarios, being on the water a lot, I noticed you get bigger bites with the bladed jig than if you were to try to downsize and do something finessey. When you go the finessey route and you're trying to just get numbers, you end up catching a lot of smaller fish. The bladed jig is a bigger presentation, produces a bigger bite, my opinion, from all the experience with it. And I like to use, I go back and forth between a black and blue or like a green pumpkin variant, but with something with like some orange and yellow in it to kind of mimic the perch we have up here in the north.
Yeah.
What size weight do you typically
I agree. A little bit of orange works well in a lot of cases too.
Yeah. Which weight do you stick with? Like 3/8, or you go straight half?
Is 3/8 for most of my fishing, and then I go to half if I'm trying to work a little deeper.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you're also a Humminbird guy. So what electronics are you running this year?
So I run Solixes in my boat. You know, and I've been running Solixes for quite a while. I like the touchscreen aspect of them.
Yeah.
And I can't be without my Mega 360. You know, that to see the structure out there and know what to cast to. That's what I like.
Yeah, this is my first year running 360, and it's kind of mind blowing, because it's when I got with live, it's kind of like don't need to. I didn't feel I needed it because I could see the stone walls or see the foundations, and you get like a good understanding. But once you have the 360, it was like, okay, that's eye-opening, because like I didn't know there was like steps on this foundation, or there was like a well or something else you could see. Like on Candlewood, like see some of the wells and whatnot. that I didn't know were there. I knew the foundation was there, but I didn't know like additional structure was there. And that was something that the 360 opened my eyes to.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. It's, even with, using a live, the 360 just paints you a map of what's out there. And it's really critical for boat positioning. I feel like when you have that, you can set your boat in the right spot and be in the right position to make the right cast.
Yeah. Casey chimed in. He's running the 921 Elite. And I send it in big water without hesitation. Fastest I've run mine is 74. Cooler mornings make the Merc run better. Yeah, I agree. I'm curious what pitch prop he's running. Getting back to the Phoenixes quickly. I'm running a 23 pitch prop that was worked by Croxton, and it's not the fastest prop for the boat, but there's no hole shot. Like, you just hit the gas pedal, you're on pad. It's ridiculous.
Right.
So in the smaller lakes here in Connecticut, especially when I'm guiding and whatnot, I want to get from spot to spot as quick as possible and save time from revving up and getting on pad. It's just a time saver in my world. But today, or this week on Kerr, making like 40-minute runs, it's like, wish I could go like 5 miles per hour faster. Being stuck at like 69 or 70, it's not when you know the boat is more than capable of going faster, it's like, but prop's great. And you're running, what motor are you running this year?
I've got the Yamaha.
The new SHO.
Correct.
Now, what was the upgrades from the previous model to this model for the show?
So not a lot of changes. It's got a bigger alternator and, some cosmetic changes, but the motor itself is unchanged. So bigger alternator gets you a little bit quicker charging and that kind of stuff, but the motor itself is pretty much the same as the first generation.
All right, now with Merc, I got a question. When lithium batteries started becoming the norm, so to speak, there was a lot of like motor companies wouldn't cover certain things regarding lithium, and then Mercury put out a bulletin at one point in time. I think it was Relion is the battery. Like, they were like, this is the specs that you want, and then from this point forward, you're good as long as you have these specs. Are there any compatibility issues regarding Yamaha?
So both Mercury and Yamaha are not the biggest fans of lithium for cranking batteries.
Okay.
With that being said, there are a lot of people that run lithiums and have had no issues. But as putting on my dealer hat, they still do not endorse them 100%. Either company, they're kind of on the fence about it, and I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that lithiums have a safety built into them that they can, if you trigger too much of a charge or some other factors, they can cut out 100%, and go into safe mode. And I think that's a big cause of concern for motor manufacturers, just for the fact that if it goes into safe mode, you can't start your engine and something bad was about to happen, it could be an issue. So I think that's where they're looking at it from more of a safety perspective than anything else.
Okay. Is that educational for us?
Yeah. Yep.
So, do you guys have the schedule for next year for the Northern Bass Trail?
So we're working on it. It's we've got some dates set. We do not have them all set yet. So we hope to have that out soon, though.
Are there any new lakes on the schedule this year? Like something we haven't done before? Or?
Maybe. We might be going out to a lake in New York State if we can make things work. So that's about all I can say at this point. Okay. So we are going to try to change it up a little.
Okay, so a little change. You heard this here first. All you guys fishing the Reynolds Boats Trail. Who won the TOC this year? Who came in first?
Noah Winslow and John Regario.
Okay. Shout out Noah and John.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Big $10,000 first place prize. So good payday for those two.
Yeah, man. Shout out Noah.
Yep, and
I
they
got
got
I got him.
team of the year too. So they came in second in all but one event this year, and then won the TOC. So they had an incredible year on our trail.
Wow.
Yeah.
The kid's a hammer.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure.
Yep.
He needs a new boat though. We gotta give him a new skeeter.
Well, actually, he is. We're in talks right now, so I think you'll see him in a new boat come spring.
I hope so.
Yep.
I hope so. Oh man.
Yep.
Oh man. So anything else? What else is going on with you? You're up in St. Lawrence cracking big smallmouth.
Yeah, we're trying. I mean, it wasn't great fishing. Water temps are still in the upper 60s, believe it or not, up here, and the fish just aren't really set up as well as we'd want them to be. They're still kind of everywhere. There's shallow fish, deep fish, and nothing's really got the feedback on yet. Otherwise, we're actually transitioning to some winterizing and stuff back at the shop, and doing some ordering for some boats for spring deliveries now. So some people are doing their pre-orders to get boats so they'll have them for next year. And yeah, things are going pretty well.
Awesome. Now, and for other people that might not know, Reynolds is also part Subaru dealership. So,
Yes. Yep.
want to shout out the dealership any way or?
So, well, I'll give a little. So, people that don't know, I mean, I'll kind of give a little history here. I'm the sixth generation in the business with my brother and sister. We started building horse-drawn carriages in 1859, and that was my great grandfather. We then transitioned to car sales. We built a marina in the 30s, and we've sold a bunch of different brands, everything from GM to then we were Studebaker. We went to Rover, Peugeot, and now Subaru. So we've changed brands. Most of them have gone out of business. It wasn't our doing, but we've changed brands a few times, made a lot of changes over the years, and now between my brother, sister, and I, we're doing the Subaru and the boat business.
I've had a few guys over the past couple of years be like, surprised Tommy doesn't have a brand that you can sell a truck. So you can sell a truck to tow the boat, and then you get the 2-in-1.
Well, it would be
like,
nice. It's Subaru doesn't make anything that really. I mean, you can tow a bass boat, I guess, with their Ascent. It'll tow 5,000 pounds, but getting a franchise for cars or trucks is not. They're not readily available on every street corner. That's for sure. So,
yeah,
it's hard to get them. So.
I hear you. And then a lot of guys follow the podcast are from like the Upper Bay and the Potomac area. You guys also sell saltwater boats.
We do. We sell Pathfinder. We sell North Coast. So Pathfinder is your bay boats. The North Coast is cabin boats and center consoles.
Okay. What's a good boat, like a starter boat for guys who want to just go out in like the Sound or the Potomac for stripers, or down there they call them rockfish?
Right. I mean, it really depends on how many people you need to take out and how far you want to go. The boats we carry, our smallest are about 19 feet, and we go up to actually a 41-footer now in a cabin boat. But a 19-footer is really, if you just want to go do some striper fishing, that's really all you need.
Do those saltwater boats, do they come with like electronics and trolling motors or anything like bass boats?
They typically don't. Most of that stuff is kind of a la carte. The saltwater trolling motor scene it's exploded in the last couple of years, but it's not like bass boats. I mean, the majority of saltwater boats out there don't have a trolling motor. We're seeing a lot of people add those, but the boats, a lot of it's customization because the boats really weren't meant to have trolling motors on them when they were built. Gotcha. So we have to do a lot of customizing to make it happen. But once someone uses a trolling motor fishing, they don't go back to anchoring.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. Oh man, especially like going out in the ocean because you start spinning around like a top and lose sense of direction and whatnot. It's just so much better. Like I could only imagine 20 years ago being out like on small boats out in Long Island Sound, being able to hit spot lock.
Right.
It's life
Well,
changing.
and that's the thing, black fishing is all, basically sitting on rock piles.
Yeah.
And since that trolling motor thing came about for the saltwater guys, it used to be you had to throw an anchor and you'd have to set it just right so you'd be over the rock pile. And now, you can just hit jog. If you miss it the first time with your trolling motor, you just hit jog, move over 5 feet, 10 feet. And it's been a game changer for a lot of saltwater guys now.
Is there a trolling motor you recommend for guys doing saltwater or looking to outfit their boat?
So, the Minn Kotas are what we sell 99% of. We are also a service center for Minn Kota. So if anything happens, we can take care of them. So that helps a lot. The new Quest motors, the Instinct Quest, if you will, for the saltwater, have been much better, improved reliability, especially with the self-deploy models. So we're doing a lot with those right now.
All right.
Yep.
Then if the electronics, you guys primarily sell Humminbird and
we do all of them, really. I mean, we do everything. The only, we do a lot of Garmin with saltwater that they seem to be very popular. We do Simrad with saltwater more so than Lowrance. On the freshwater side, Garmin, Humminbird, and Lowrance are very popular. We do some other brands too, but those are the lion's share of the business.
Gotcha. And then those are the kind you could get radar and everything, like
Correct.
Simrad and
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. And you've been doing any saltwater fishing this year? Or?
Not much. I like, I do some salt, but I really like freshwater fishing. I like how many different ways there are to catch a bass is what I like. Saltwater fishing, there's not a lot of choices, and live bait seems to always be what gets you the biggest fish. But and I know bass fishing, tournament fishing, there's a million ways to catch a largemouth or smallmouth bass.
Yeah. Or this week I learned spotted bass.
Or spotted bass, yeah.
Yeah, man. That was interesting. It was crazy. Crazy experience I occur. It was definitely challenging, for sure. And seeing how spotted bass, I went down there kind of like with the attitude, like from what I'm reading, seeing they act like smallmouth. That's not the case.
Right.
Smallmouth, I don't think would be traveling in wolf packs with 30 and 40-pound stripers.
Right. Yeah.
Do you do any other? I'm sorry.
I was going to say I haven't fished for spots a lot. I've fished for them on Lanier before down there in Georgia, and they are fun to catch, but they are different animals for sure.
Yeah, especially well when they were hitting topwater, it was a blast.
Oh yeah, they're aggressive. Yep.
Because it was like you throw it out there, bloop bloop, catch one, be like 2-pounder. They throw it out there again, bloop bloop. Okay, 15-pound striper,
Yeah.
different point. On a little finesse popper rod, throwing a Rico.
Yep.
Oh man. So what else? What's going on? Otherwise, you got anything else spectacular in the works?
Not so much. Not that I can think of. Kind of winding down the season. I've got a few more fishing trips hopefully in me, but November I want to get back up here to fish Ontario again. Chameau Bay in November can be really good, and I want to get up here this year if I can brave the cold. And Dan, who's sitting in his trailer right now, he came up last year, middle of November. His rod lockers are frozen shut, but he had almost a 30-pound bag for 5.
Wow.
I'm hoping to do that this year.
What do they do on? I haven't been up there that late in the year. Do they like hit blade baits and stuff like that?
So it's a lot of jig fishing, and Chameau Bay is a shallow kind of weedy bay, and a lot of the lake fish tend to move into that bay in the fall, and like I said, I have not done it, but Dan came up, and I know some other people have done it and say it just is lights out if you can if you can stomach the cold.
It's cold.
Wow. I gotta get up there with you guys.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
like sounds funny, except for the cold part.
Yeah. Exactly. Bundle up.
I don't even like fish on Candlewood in November. Oh man. But there was one year, like, what was it, like 2019, 2018? I remember we went out like New Year's Eve or something, or it was Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve. It was like warm as hell. I was like wearing shorts. Like it was really warm, but the bike was kind of bad. We got them on I think we were using like jigging spoons or something or whatever, like flutter spoon.
Yeah, that seems to be the problem. When the weather's nice in the middle of winter, the fishing isn't as good. You almost have to go during a snowstorm to get the really good bite, but
Yeah,
seems to be the way it is.
yeah. So speaking about fishing and all the types of fish we catch, what's your favorite fish to eat? And you got a recipe you want to share?
Listen, I am not much of a chef, and I'll preface that. And I have a wife that is anti-seafood. So I go out to restaurants a lot to eat my seafood. I will say I'm a big fan of shrimp, whether it's, fried or however you prepare it. I like shrimp. As far as fish goes, gosh, everything from tuna to swordfish to pretty much anything. I do like fish, but I don't know if I really have a favorite recipe.
All right. What about shout out a restaurant or something local that like they have like a specific meal like that's your favorite, like blackened sea bass or something.
Well, listen, it's hard to beat Fresh Salt and Old Saybrook for their their I can't even think of the name of it now, but it's basically their like that bowl of seafood and pasta. I can't think of what they call it, but I like Fresh Salt right in Old Saybrook. That's a really good one, and of course Lenny and Joe's is good if you want any type of seafood there in Westbrook. They're a real good one too.
My favorite, like the Italian in me, is just seafood fradialo over linguine.
Oh
Where
yeah,
you
that's very good too.
get
Yep.
the scallops, clams, calamar, shrimp,
Yep.
mussels. Oh, this is
Yep.
the best. I love it.
Yep.
Oh man, now I'm hungry. I've been driving since 8 o'clock this morning on the road to All American, right? But
Well, hopefully you're almost home now.
I'm somewhere. I think I'm in Greenwich or Stamford. I'm not
Okay.
sure. Almost there. I was hoping to make it home for the podcast, so I won't be sitting in the truck again. Oh man. Hey Dan, while you're here, you want to shout out your guide service?
Sure.
What's
going on, Dan Whiteman, Bass Fishing. I run a guide service on Lake Apac on dancofishing.com. Come check it out. We do striper hybrids, largemouth, smallmouth, and walleye. We also have a muskie guide. So it's a lot of fun. And check out Lake Apac on guide service and dancofishing.com.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I'll put that in the description. Text me the information for the podcast.
Sure.
Throw it in.
And you do need to come up here in November and fish.
Yeah, we'll, man. We'll plan it.
Just warm. Just warm. That's all. Bring something to unfreeze your rod locker, because all my rods were frozen for the first hour we're out here.
Oh wow!
But it's all good.
You have to pluck the ice from the guides.
Yes, we have. But once you start catching them, you forget about the cold.
Yeah.
And we did a suicide run, so we left Friday after work, so about 5:30 at night. Got up here. We stayed in Watertown at a hotel. We got up here about 11 p.m. We got up at 5 or 4:30, drove to the lake, and fished all day. The fishing got really good, and we lost track of time. It was actually dark before we even made it back to the ramp. And then we drove straight home about 5 hours on, a suicide run. But it was epic. We had just over 29 pounds for our best 5. So it was epic.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
man, I gotta get up there. I get in the fall. Like, I think the latest I've been there is for like a BFL. And I think they were in like September. The supers.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the latest, and the fishing wasn't even that good.
Yeah, but we're also
up in
going out of Messina for that.
Yeah.
That's the last one I did with a super was 21. We went out of Messina.
Yeah.
I actually made day 2 on that. That was fun. I think I finished 13th or 12th overall on that one. So
Yeah.
But
what are you planning on fishing next year?
well, definitely fishing Reynolds. That's for sure.
The Northern Bass.
That trail is just great. It's not expensive. It's fun. It's well ran, and it's really good money. If you actually look at the money that the Reynolds puts in and puts out versus what we fish, like the BFLs. Let's just stick with the BFLs because the entry fees are about the same. Reynolds entry fee, if you pre-book, is $250 per tournament, $300 at the ramp. You win more money on this trail than if I came in the top 10 of a BFL. So,
yeah.
And the prizes they give away and everything, plus the bodies of water, they're amazing bodies of water. We go from Connecticut to New Hampshire to Champlain. We've been on 1,000 Islands. We've been in Maine. There's talk of a few other spots that's come up here. We're not allowed to say. I don't know. Hint, hint. I don't know.
Wink, wink.
But so it's a really good run series. I look forward to it every season. A lot of times, unfortunately, sometimes it interferes with the Toyota series that we do and some of the BFLs, and it's hard for me to choose. And a lot of times I'm fishing Reynolds, and then I'm driving 6 hours or 4 hours, whatever it is, right from the ramp to the next tournament because I don't want to miss a Reynolds. So I'm doing that, and then I'm on the fence of what I'm doing. I like the Toyota series schedule. But there's a lot going on, with MLF and Bass and, a lot of rule changes and stuff like that. So I'm going to wait to see what happens first of the year, see what everything, when all this craziness calms down, and then I'll choose what I'm going to fish. So, but ideally, I want to do more of my guiding. So I started my guide business last year as like a beta just to see if I would like guiding, and I actually enjoy guiding more than I enjoy tournament fishing. Teaching and watching people land fish and get on fish. Sometimes I wish I would take my own advice. Maybe I would do better. But as a guide, well, fishing tournaments, not always. But so I want to do more of that next year. Again, I have my captain's license for St. Lawrence. So looking to expand from New Jersey and up here on the St. Lawrence Lake, Ontario. That's why I've been up here all summer. Kind of getting familiarized with it and learn it better before I start, guiding up here. The last thing I want to do is bring a client on the boat and we can't get fish on a boat.
Yeah.
And fishing in general is a very humbling sport. One day you think you're a rock star, and the next day you want to fire sell all your stuff. We all can relate to that. We all can relate to that. So.
Oh man. Yeah, I've had that happen a few times. Oh man.
Yeah.
No, but guiding, I concur because guiding has been great. I run a deal. I've been guiding in Connecticut on a Zor, Lola Nona, Candlewood, and Bantam, 4 fisheries, and I run a deal for people who want to bring their kids to introduce anglers, and not everybody can afford a boat, and a lot of parents want to be able to get their kids into like an outdoor activity, so to introduce kids, make it enticing, give them a little discount to get the kids out. And I have a repeat father and son customers. The son really wants to go to Candlewood to catch big smallmouth, but we're not getting numbers, and it's kind of not fun. And then we're forced into scoping out in deep water because there's no more grass. But last time we took them out, I took them out on Lily, and we crushed them on a frog. They had a blast.
Yeah.
It's enjoyable. Like being able to put people on fish, it's fun.
Yeah,
definitely is.
I think I put Tom on fish this weekend too.
Yeah, right.
So, did you guys go out to Galouz at all?
We were all over the lake, from the States to Canada. We've spent very, very little time on the river this weekend. We used the river just to get out to the lake, but it was very sporty though. A couple of times, me and Tom looked at each other as we're running 60 miles per hour, and nothing but air between the boat and the water, and we're just like throttle down and go. So
Who was driving?
I was on my boat, he was on his boat.
Oh, all right. Oh, both boats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys fishing tomorrow?
No, it's supposed to blow over 30 miles per hour tomorrow. So we are.
Well, they would send us if it was a BFL.
Yeah. It's supposed to be pretty. Yesterday they said that it's supposed to lay down and never lay down. We went out there. For inexperienced operators, it could have been a little sketchy. We put our stuff through the work. We have lots of hours on our equipment, our experience that we have, but it's you got to be smart about it. And when we come up here, we want to fish and we want to think we spend the time, so sometimes we force it a little bit. Yesterday we probably could have stayed off the lake, but we did it. It took us a little extra to get back. Well, getting out there was harder than getting back. It did lay down a little bit in the late afternoon.
Right.
But those weather apps, they're not always right. They're not always right.
No.
So they call 3 mile per hour winds, and we had 3-4 mile feet rollers all day. So,
yeah. It was like the Champlain BFL this year is insane.
Yeah.
I
didn't fish it.
Oh man, dude. I'm telling you, no BS, man. There was one point, like I was trying to get around this point, and it had to be like 8s and 10s. Like I've never been in water that bad.
Yeah.
Ever.
Well, that same weekend.
I gave up.
That same weekend was the Reynolds Trail down at Ty when you guys were in Plattsburgh.
Yeah,
you should have just came fishing.
We were there. Yeah,
so, well, you were up in Plattsburgh. We were in Ty. We were pretty protected in Ty. We could have run anywhere we wanted.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it was good. And I actually cut a check on that one, so I'm happy.
There you go. Good.
So, all right. Well, here's Tom.
Hey, Tom.
All right.
Any sponsors or anybody you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Well, listen, I mean, my trail wouldn't happen if it wasn't for the help of Phoenix and Yamaha, are our two main sponsors. But we also, couldn't do it without Minn Kota, Humminbird, Lowrance, Shimano, G. Loomis. Those in Kittery Trading Post has been fantastic. And I got to give a big shout out to those guys. If you've never tackle shopped at Kittery or just shopped for clothing and other stuff, the place is amazing. They're right over the Maine border. If people are listening to this, they do a big online business too, but you really got to go to the store sometime. It's pretty awesome.
Awesome.
Yep.
All right. Well, Tom, thanks so much for joining us tonight. And if you guys decide to go out tomorrow, be safe.
Well, I'm going to be doing all that driving tomorrow myself that you're doing. So safe travels to you tonight, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, brother. Have a good night.
Take care. Thanks. You too. Yeah, bye.